Have you ever felt like your faith journey could inspire others, but you're unsure how to share it? What if I told you that with a simple framework, you could outline your story and start writing a book that glorifies God and changes lives? Stick with me and I'll show you exactly how to do it in today's episode. Hey sis, ready to write your first book and make an impact? Do you wish you could organize your book ideas without feeling overwhelmed and actually find the time to write and finish your book? Hey, I'm Donna Cherie, a book writing coach and author. Welcome to Called for Business. Inside this podcast, I'll teach you how to get a clear vision for your book idea, get organized, keep it simple, and develop a writing plan so you can finally get your book out into the world. Grab a notebook and pen with your favorite cup of tea. Let's dive into today's episode. Hey sis, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited for you to be here with me today. It is my pleasure to be here and to have you listening in. I hope that your week is going great and that you are ready to dive into today's episode. Be sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the show. And of course, share with someone you know, share with someone you love who can definitely benefit from this message. So today I want to give it to you straight, sis. Can I do that? Let's just be real, because I'm all about being real. And when it comes to your story doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. It has to be your authentic story. Let me tell you, God uses our messy moments, our breakthroughs, and lessons in life to reveal his faithfulness to us. And why not share that with someone else? So today, I want to share with you a simple framework that can really help you turn your story into a book, even if you're not a natural writer. Even if writing is not really your jam, you don't feel like it's a gift that you have, this simple framework will really help you to craft your story and help you even get an outline and to really start writing those chapters. This is what I call the 5 scenes framework. It helps you to organize your testimony into a clear narrative so it resonates with your readers and draws them closer to God. I hope that's what you desire for your book, is that when people read it, not only are they empowered and inspired by your story, but that it also draws them closer to God, because that's what it's about. That's how lives are changed when we draw closer to him. When I wrote my book, Untarnished, Reclaiming My Self-Worth Through God's Untainted Love, this framework is basically the format that I use. Even though it wasn't called a framework then, this really helped me to finish the book. And with this framework, you can break your transformative story down into 5 scenes of your life. So be sure to grab your notebook and pen, because this is going to be so juicy. And I'm telling you, it's really going to help you outline your book and get going with writing. I recently shared this method in a class that I was doing earlier this week. And by the end of the class, the students were so ready. They had written down the things for each of their scenes, and it was a very interactive class, and they shared what they had written down, and it was very helpful to them to like really get going with their book. So I know that it's going to do the same for you. So let's dive in. So this 5 scenes framework, it's very simple, because I'm all about keeping the writing process simple. Because when it becomes overwhelmed, then it gets chaotic. We feel cluttered. We definitely don't want that to be. So when you're writing this down, the first part of this framework, or the first scene, if you will, is called Life Before the Transformation. So what did your life look like before this transformation, before this pivotal moment in your life happened? Like, what were the struggles, your challenges, or the mindset that you face? And think about those things. And you don't have to write it down in like a paragraph form or anything today, or as you're listening to this episode, but you can just put bullet points of what your struggles were, your challenges, or the type of mindset you had before your transformation. The next scene is the turning point, or your encounter with God. What was it? what was the event that or experience that caused a shift in your faith or a shift in where you were in your experience in life? So what was a turning point or encounter with God? What happened to you that caused you to do something different? The third scene is called a struggle or a test of faith. Describe a challenge that tested your faith. What is it that you walked through in your faith journey or throughout your life that was a challenge or really tested your faith, and where you had this, I want to say, this wrestle with God moment, if you will, or this enough is enough moment in which you had to do something different. You had to make a choice. What did you do? What was that struggle? What was that test of faith? The fourth scene is the breakthrough or the resolution. After this test of faith, after this struggle, what happened? What was your breakthrough moment? What happened at that point? What was the outcome? How did God show up big for you? Or how did he deliver you? What did he do to help you have that breakthrough, regardless of what the situation was? Whether it was a financial crisis, whether it was, for some, it could be addiction, or for some, it could be incarceration, or it could be a hard breakup. Whatever it is that you're writing about, a story that you want to tell to your audience of how God showed up big for you and something in your life changed. What is that? And just jot down some bullet points as I'm saying that, what really comes to your mind. And also be sure to pray about this and ask the Holy Spirit to reveal to you what it was, the breakthrough, the struggle. What was it? And then the last scene that you want to identify and write down is life after transformation and the lessons learned. Lesson learned. So what lessons did you learn from this experience? What lesson did you learn from going through this trial? And then what's life like now? What happened after this wonderful breakthrough? What happened after God showed up for you, honey? Tell us. We want to know. So what was life after transformation and the lessons learned? So real quick, just to recap the five scenes framework. The first one is what was life like? So life before the transformation. The second is, what turning point or encounter with God did you have? The third is, what is the struggle or the test of faith, the challenge, that tested your faith? What scene is that for you? What is that in your life? What is the breakthrough or the resolution that happened? How did God show up big for you or deliver you? And then life after the transformation and lessons learned. So you can number this on your paper as a list if you want, with those section areas on it. You can also break it out into like 4 parts. So in my mind, I'm just thinking of, if you have in one box on the left, you have life before the transformation. On the right side of that, you have a turning point or encounter with God. And then underneath, list out those other categories or boxes, and then just write bullet points to begin brainstorming what that is for you and see what the Holy Spirit reveals. And that really will help you to begin to write your outline and have a framework to complete your memoir, to share your God story with the world in a way that is transformative rather than kind of like an autobiography or a biography. So just start there, and you will have a start of your outline. This, even by doing this framework, this will really help you to begin to organize your chapters and write down your book, the themes within your chapter. You can elaborate on your emotions of how you felt in these different areas. You can talk about, the images or certain experiences that happen surrounding this. And it really is going to help you and also excite you about writing your book and help you get there further. So I hope today's episode, I know it was quick, but I hope that it was definitely quick and helpful and inspiring to you. If you have any questions about the framework, of course, you can email me at contact@donnasherie.com and I'll answer any questions for you there. I want you to know, sis, that you can write your first book, that you can finish it, and that you can have it published in your hands. Believe, if you believe this story of what God has done and how he has transformed you and, oh my gosh, enlightened you in so many ways, and you want to share it with the world, now is the time to do it, sis. Don't keep on waiting. Keep tuning in. I've got more tips, encouragement, and resources coming your way on this podcast to help you with your writing journey. And of course, until next time, ciao. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's episode inspired you to take that next step to write your book. Remember, small steps lead to big results. If this podcast has blessed you in some way, be sure to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. Your support means the world to me, and it helps others to find the show. Also, be sure to pass on the inspiration by sharing this episode with a friend who could benefit from this message. God bless you, sis, and never, ever give up.